Hello science enthusiasts, Zach here, and on today's episode of 300 Seconds of Science, we'll be diving in to the Uncanny Valley effect. We're going to be talking about mannequins, clowns, and bad CGI.
So sit down and grab a snack because things are about to get weird.
First things first, let's establish some need-to-know info.
For those of you who don't know already, CGI stands for Computer Generated Imagery. In live-action movies and television, this means anything digitally added to the film in post-production, ranging from fully CGI characters like the Transformers to seamlessly added skylines or set dressing in movies like Joker or Spider-Man No Way Home. Other than movies that utilize traditional hand-drawn animation, today, most animated movies are entirely digital creations, or CGI. This includes movies like Toy Story, which was the longest fully CGI movie of its time, as well as Shrek, or more recently, Across the Spider-Verse. Since I'm using green screen, I'm technically using CGI too. Alright, so the Uncanny Valley effect. What is it? The Uncanny Valley is the space that exists in each human's mind where they recognize something is looking similar to humans, but it's just a bit off. Some of the most common examples of things that fall into the Uncanny Valley can be animated characters, clowns, dolls, mannequins, or robots. The term Uncanny Valley comes from Japanese roboticist Masahiro Mori, who created the term Bukumi no Tani Gensho in 1970, which was later translated to the Uncanny Valley phenomenon. The robotics professor theorized that as the appearance of a robot becomes more human, spectators will become more empathetic until the robot's appearance is nearly human, at which point the spectators become repulsed. For example, a robot that is clearly a robot that acts like a human is much more agreeable than a humanoid-looking robot that acts like a human. A robot that looks more human can make people uncomfortable because it seems to cross a line in our minds. But the more clunky robot that acts human is much more endearing because there's no uncertainty about the robot's nature. One of the most famous examples of the Uncanny Valley in pop culture is the 2004 movie, The Polar Express. To many, this movie is a nightmare full of weird Tom Hanks looking CGI people.
The faces look human, but almost too human. This is a good time to mention that different people have different sensitivities to the Uncanny Valley. Some people are more reactive to the effects of the Uncanny Valley than others. While your friend might be scared of clowns or dolls, you might not feel anything towards them. Or you might think that the CGI for the Sonic trailer was a horrible attack on your senses, while some weirdo on the internet argues that the original design was better?
It's worth clarifying that bad CGI and the Uncanny Valley are not mutually exclusive, although there is certainly some overlap. To the Venn diagram!
Let's start with the overlap. For starters, both bad CGI and the Uncanny Valley are fairly subjective. As I mentioned before, different people have different levels of sensitivity when it comes to the Uncanny Valley. Similarly, the quality of CGI is entirely up to interpretation, as well as factors like approach to realism and what is actually being created. This fish doesn't look very lifelike, but it doesn't take me out of the movie because the CGI serves the silly vibes of the movie perfectly. Switching over to some differences. For starters, bad CGI is a much broader umbrella than the Uncanny Valley. Bad CGI can apply to nearly anything that doesn't look good that's been digitally added in post-production. This guy, this cat, this dog, this man's upper lip? The Uncanny Valley more specifically refers to images that aren't flat out bad, but instead are on the cusp of reality, yet still an imperfect imitation.
Another similarity between the two is the role of context.
With CGI, your feelings towards what you are watching can impact how much the CGI quality affects your viewing experience. If you were heavily invested in the story, then you are less likely to notice bad CGI.
Likewise, context plays a large role into whether something falls into the Uncanny Valley for you. A mannequin wearing clothes at the store is usually not too scary, but a mannequin with no clothes on, or a mannequin in someone's garage, is a bit more disturbing. The same is true of how seeing a clown at a children's birthday party during the day is a lot less scary than seeing a clown at your doorstep in the middle of the night.
Whoa,
that was spooky.
But what gives you Uncanny Valley? Now that you're an expert in the Uncanny Valley, you can let us know in the comments below. And while you're down there, why not like and subscribe? That'll wrap things up for today's episode. I hope you've learned a thing or two and that you'll consider following us on Facebook, Instagram, and X. As always, I've been Zach. I'll see you in my next video where I can't wait to share my next fact.
This program was produced by ZTV at the University of Akron. Do you want to gain experience in video production, professional social media, or working with real clients? Visit the UA School of Communications online or follow us on social media to learn more. ZTV, make media, make a difference.
Oh, and by the way, pausing a movie on a random frame and complaining about bad CGI doesn't make you a film fan. It makes you a hater.